This is Broadcast Obituaries, Gone Too Soon. We exhume a short-lived TV series, episode by episode, give it a proper eulogy, and answer the burning question, was it canceled too soon or not soon enough? Analysis, nostalgia, and our final verdict on TV's fallen heroes.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of Broadcast Obituaries. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron.
And I am your other host, Rob. Thank you for joining us. Our episode today is Danzinger, First Blood, Earth 2. This is episode 18 of Earth 2.
Yeah, Survival of the Fittest. This one's a golden episode. I enjoyed
our title better. I like our title better.
Oh, yeah, we did a better job. Rob, before we jump into the recording, would you like to take us back in time?
I would love to take us back in time, Aaron.
Back in time. Back in time. Back in time.
Let us go back to the golden era, the month of April 1995. I have two halves to my segment. We're going to talk major albums in April 95, and we're also going to talk TV shows in April 95.
Okay,
yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I like both of those.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to give you a quiz.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right,
so
I'm not ready for that.
I won't give you a quiz on the albums, though. I'm just going to tell you about some of these. So this was an amazing month, honestly. With the last album we're going to get to, I consider to be one of the greatest albums of all time. It is not the greatest because it is actually topped by a previous album by this same band, if that gives you any hints or clues. And obviously, opinions may vary. Those are my opinions. So to start us off, there were a couple of girl-fronted bands that had some major releases here. Garbage, their self-titled album. You know, Shirley Manson was the front woman of that band. So that album came out in April. That had the singles Only Happy When It Rains and Stupid Girl on it. Those are big songs.
Those have made revivals in my house. My daughter has discovered Garbage, and she's been listening to them. So,
they're good. It's good stuff. I hadn't listened to them in a long time, and Only Happy When It Rains came up on a recent playlist of mine. I was like, man, this is a pretty good song. Pretty good song, Yep. The other girl band was No Doubt. The album Tragic Kingdom. That was like their biggest album, really. Had Don't Speak, Just a Girl, Spiderwebs. That came out this month. That was massive. That was a huge album there.
That was huge. I had that album because it was so popular.
Nice. You were in your ska era.
My ska era. Yeah. I don't think I was old enough at the time to really know that it was ska. I just know that I liked those songs that you named. I was like, might as well buy the album.
Sure.
I don't remember any of the other songs from the album. So
Everclear had an album come out, Sparkle and Fade. One of their very early ones had Santa Monica and Heroin Girl on it.
Yep.
Santa Monica
really like that
is
album.
Still an amazing song.
Yep.
I actually just saw Everclear just over a year ago, and I think they might have closed out the show with Santa Monica. But it's one they play it at every show still. I mean, it's a good one. That's a great album. Great album.
How were they live? I think I remember you telling me about the show a while back.
So it's Art Alexakis is the only remaining original member. And in case anyone doesn't know this, he's old. He's an old man, and he has MS. I believe he's had it for a number of years. I don't know if it's progressing or not. It was kind of a rough show. It was great for the nostalgia. I loved being there.
Yeah.
Marcy Playground opened for them.
Oh, nice.
Which was very cool. They
Sex
were
and
really
Candy.
Fun. Yeah, they were super fun to watch. But yeah, I was less than thrilled with Art's his singing in the show. But he's an older guy. It was a late night. I know someone that went to a show of theirs within the last month, actually, and 2 months maybe. But they loved it. They said it was incredible. So maybe it was just a bad night or something. But
they're
cool. Great songs, regardless. I mean, I think some of those songs anybody could sing them. He's written great songs. Also, the Foo Fighters' first album, their self-titled debut, also came out this month. Didn't have necessarily their biggest songs on it. Had This Is a Call, I'll Stick Around, Big Me. Pretty big songs. So good one. Not my favorite of theirs. I like, what is it? The Color and the Shape? Is that the name
Color and the Shape, yeah.
Color and the Shape.
That's my favorite album of theirs.
Yeah. It's incredible. So good one. After that, I have a band. I love this band. and I was excited to see them show up on this list here. But it's the band Hum. The album is called You'd Prefer an Astronaut, and their main single is called Stars. They also had I'd Like Your Hair Long. Those are both singles. I love Stars. It's an incredible song. I actually did not hear it for the first time until the mid-2000s on the X here, the radio station that used to do flashback segment at noon. And this came up on there a couple times within a month or two span. It was great. I loved it. I'd listen to this song all the time. But they're definitely kind of a heavier, sludgier, shoegaze type of band.
Yeah,
You're looking it up, aren't you?
I'm looking them up. I'm wondering if I recognize the song. What was the song again?
Stars.
Yeah. Well, it's got 27 million views on Spotify, so it must be popular. I'll have to listen to it later and see if I recognize it. It doesn't ring a bell off the top of my head.
Okay.
So.
You mean, like I said, I didn't hear it. It wasn't popular in my area. Sometimes different regions get different songs. But once I moved here and heard it, I was like, "This is incredible."
I grew up listening to the X, though. I mean,
That's
that
true.
was
That's
my
true.
radio station, so
If
I
they're
probably
playing.
heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now for the grand finale here, the band with one of the greatest albums of all time, it was Smashing Pumpkins with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness.
Oh, yes.
Double-length album. Bullet with Butterfly Wings, 1979. Tonight Tonight, 033. These are all singles off of this album. Incredible, incredible album. In my opinion, it is not Smashing Pumpkins' greatest album. I like Siamese Dream. That is, to me, one of the greatest albums of all time. I can listen to every song on there on repeat. Phenomenal stuff. But Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, also incredible. Did you have this album?
I did have this album, yeah. I really liked it. I think this was, for me, my favorite album of theirs.
Yeah.
And it's funny to mention this because just over the Thanksgiving break, so we're on December 10th, so just over Thanksgiving, Billy Corgan did a show at the Lyric Opera House in Chicago called A Night of Melancholy and Infinite Sadness, and it was an interpretation of songs from that album. If you can find any videos on Facebook, it looked pretty wild. He had a full orchestra, a choir. He was doing like 1979, like he was doing all the songs. It was really cool. I've seen clips of him.
Interesting.
If he brought the show here, I would definitely go see it. But I think he's only going to play it in Chicago because he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
But
if Smashing Pumpkins came here at all, I would go see them.
Yeah. Yep.
I haven't. They've been here before. Obviously, I have not had a chance to go, but I would do my best to make an effort to go if they came. So that's the first half of our segment here. Major albums of '95. Those were 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's a lot of huge albums for April of 1995.
Yeah, massive.
Wow.
Massive.
So which of those had the top 2 songs on the charts? You said there were...
Oh, you mean like from last week that we talked about? None of them.
Really?
The top song that we discussed last week in America was This Is How We Do It.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And in England, it was a song called Back for Good by a band called Take That. And neither of us knew it. I have listened to it since then. I definitely know this song. You would know this song if you heard it. They look like a boy band. It's a little early for boy bands, though. Aside from, like New Kids on the Block.
That was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you listen to it, add it to your list to listen to with Stars.
I will.
You'll know that song. But those were the top songs. It was not anything on this list. Alternative
That's
rock
wild.
was not necessarily at the top of the charts all the time. So.
Should have been. Those are huge albums.
Right. Yeah. So it was a good month. It's a good month. For the second half of our Back in Time segment today, we're looking at April 95. We're looking at the top TV shows that were on TV. So I've got a list of the top 10 shows, and I'm going to ask you to see if you can guess any of them. I'll give you some hints. There are 6 sitcoms on the top 10.
Oh, I believe it.
2 primetime dramas and 2 primetime news programs.
Okay.
So I wouldn't even worry about the news programs. Let's see if you can just get any of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So see what you can come up with. This is April 95.
Okay. Let me go back in time in my head.
You can take all the time you need because we are... ER is number 3. That is the top primetime drama that was on TV. Very good.
I knew that would have to be there. Home Improvement.
That is the number 1 show
in
April of 95.
Man, we were thick in TGI Friday. I would say Step by Step is on the list.
It is not.
Nah,
It is not. I'm not sure any of these shows were on TGI
on
Friday.
TGI Fridays. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm drawing a blank. You put me on the spot, and those are the two.
Those are good. I mean, you nailed those two. That was awesome.
I want to. No, that was
Numbers
late '90s.
Numbers 2 and 4 are both sitcoms, and they are two of the biggest sitcoms of all time.
The Simpsons?
No.
It's not on the list?
No.
What?
No.
Is he Married with Children? That was over in '95,
Come on.
wasn't it?
I don't know if it was or not, but I would not qualify that as one of the biggest sitcoms of all time.
I don't know.
Just
I loved
saying.
it. Roseanne?
No, that was popular at this time. I have that on a different
But it
list.
didn't make
but
the list?
It did not make the top 10.
Apparently, I wasn't watching many of the top shows.
What were you thinking of when you said that was the late 90s?
Everybody Loves Raymond.
No, not that either.
I don't know, Rob. I think I'm stumped. I think
Okay.
I'm stumped. I think you're going to have to help me out.
So number 1 was Home Improvement. You were correct. Number 2,
Okay.
Friends. Friends.
Oh, I see. Okay. I should have got that, but I didn't watch Friends. My mom
That's all
watched
right.
it,
Okay.
but it's not one that I ever think about.
So number 3 then was ER, as you
Yep.
correctly surmised. Number 4, maybe the biggest sitcom of the 90s and all time, is Seinfeld.
And you want to be my latex cell.
And I didn't watch that until much later in life. So
I started around 97 probably when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Same year. Or
Yeah.
96 maybe. Well, number 5, this is pretty under the radar for us probably, Grace Under Fire. And
yeah.
number
I
6
remember
was
that.
Coach. Remember Coach?
I do remember Coach.
Number 7 was Primetime Live. I'm assuming that's a news program. But it might not be. I don't know what it is, honestly. Number 8, we've discussed this one before. It's Murphy Brown.
Yeah.
And number 9 is our other drama, NYPD Blue. That was a huge
That was
show
huge.
back in the early
They showed
mid-90s.
remember that one episode where they showed that guy's butt and it
Yeah.
broke the world for a while. It was on the
broke
news. They couldn't
the
believe
world.
that they were showing a man
Right.
butt on TV.
Right? What an offense.
Yeah.
I was only
wild.
offended. I was offended as well, but probably for different reasons. I did not want to see that. Number 10 was 60 Minutes. That's the other news program.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
pretty interesting
I-
list, honestly. I watched a lot of
It
Home
is.
Improvement, like in 95. I was one of the people that
Yeah.
put it at the top of the list. I didn't start watching Friends till later.
Yeah. I probably watched all of those shows and
Yeah.
we have talked about them, but I think is what I just realized today as of this recording is that I'm really bad about matching up dates with the shows because Murphy Brown went through my head, but I thought that was earlier in the 90s, not
Okay.
95.
Yeah.
I thought it was over by 95. So
Yeah. So this was that was interesting. I think in none of our Back in Time segments have we ever discussed TV. I don't think so.
yeah, that's
Uh,
cool.
Thought that was
Cool
interesting.
list.
The Thursday night block on NBC was Seinfeld, Friends, and ER, and they cleaned up in the ratings for years.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember. I didn't watch a lot of ER, but my mom was a nurse, so she would watch ER, and I would watch the two lead-in ones again a little later in the 90s. I would watch the two sitcoms, and I'd stay for parts of ER occasionally while she watched it, but she was definitely
Yeah.
entertained by that.
Yeah.
Saturday mornings, popular cartoons of the time were X-Men, Rugrats, and Doug.
Oh man, Doug. I watched all of them.
Yep, me
I
too.
watched them all.
Yeah. And some other TV shows that were on the rise during this time of the year, this season, were The X-Files, Sybil, and News Radio, and Roseanne. News Radio was one of my favorite sitcoms.
That was good. I feel
was
like
a
I
great
always
one.
forget about that one.
That was the first time I ever saw Stephen Root in anything. Milton Wadhams from
Mhm.
Office Space.
Yep.
And I love him. He is one of my favorite character actors. Like, he just shows up everywhere now, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Played Jimmy James, the station manager. So that was, one other thing to note. A couple days before our episode today, there was a new TV show that premiered. It was on the new network of UPN, which already, just a couple months before this, gave us Star Trek Voyager.
Yep.
There was a new show that came out called Legend. And this starred Richard Dean Anderson, Mr. MacGyver, and one John Delancey, who played Q in Star Trek. And this was a sci-fi
Yes.
Western. And I do remember seeing previews for this, seeing trailers on TV. I don't think I ever watched an episode. I might have seen parts of one or two. But this show ran for 12 episodes and it was canceled. And honestly, I am going to recommend this as, if not the next show that we do, one that we get to soon. I think it would be a nice short
Yeah.
season, 12 episodes, and it sounds super fun.
Yeah. You texted me about that one. I had never heard of it.
Okay.
And I like it because it lets us keep our Star Trek tie-in going because we're obviously tying
Right.
Star Trek in. It'll come up later in this episode today.
I'm pretty sure we could find a way to tie Star Trek
We could
into
tie anything.
just about anything.
Yeah, yeah. But I really like John Delancey's.
Nice. All right. Well, that has been our Back in Time segment for today. Thanks for joining us on this journey to April 1995. Let's get back to the future.
Back to the Future.
Back to the future. Hey, now that we're done with that segment, Aaron.
Yeah. Rob, what's up, Rob?
Hey, so have you been watching anything good lately? You see anything? Like, we haven't discussed what we're currently watching in months, honestly.
Yeah, we're not currently watching any TV shows.
Okay.
I got a project at my house that I'm working on. We're starting to watch some Christmas movies. We talked about Jingle All the Way in the last episode. That's a really good one. And then we watched Love Actually for the first time. But that is not worthy of a movie in a minute. So it's a rom-com. So
yeah, not my jam. Not my jam for sure.
Yeah, it was fine. My wife recommended it, and I was like, sure, well, let's just watch something. So
yeah, that was nice of you.
Yeah. So how about you?
Right now, we're a little obsessed with this British show called Taskmaster. Have you ever heard of this?
Haven't heard of it.
It's kind of like a game show. They bring comedians onto the show, and then they run them through some ridiculous challenges. And then the host of the show, who is the Taskmaster, awards them all points from 1 to 5, worst to best. Sometimes just based on his own opinion or how he feels about it. Or, sometimes a lot of the stuff is completely subjective. It's fun. Like, the comedians are cracking jokes and just making, comedians are fun people to be around, right? I assume. I don't know any personally.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Hope so.
On this show, they're very funny. We're watching, I think it's season 18, which has... Yeah, and we skipped to that one. Someone at my wife's work recommended it to her, and she skipped to this season because one of the comedians on there, actually, it's the first American they've ever had, but it's Jason Matsukas, who we love. He's kooky and wild and funny. So he contacted the Taskmaster people and said, hey, I want to be on your show. Like, they didn't even invite him. He just was just like, I'm coming on your show.
He invited himself.
He did. It's got him, and one of the other comedians on there is Matthew Bainton, who you probably do not recognize the name. You might not even recognize the show, but he's on the British version of Ghosts, which is one of our favorite shows. We love Ghosts. We actually just finished season 5, even though it ran years ago. We just finished the last season of it a week or so ago. I should probably talk about Ghosts. Ghosts is a great show. That's all I'll say about it. It is phenomenal. We love every minute of it from the first episode to the last. Phenomenal show. It's heartwarming, and it can bring a tear to your eye, and the tear could be from crying or from laughing or anything. Yeah. It's a great show. But Matthew Bainton is a hilarious ghost on that show, and he is phenomenal on Taskmaster as well. So it's just a super fun show. And then it's all the same comedians for a full season. And they do all the episodes, and when they're done, they total up all their points. There's a winner of every episode, and then at the end of the season, which we haven't gotten to yet, there'll be a winner of the entire season. It's fun.
For our listeners, where are you watching this? What
YouTube.
Service?
YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And there are different versions. Different countries have produced their own Taskmaster ones. There was an American one that went for a season or 2 on Comedy Central. I did not watch it. Some things the British just do better. Yeah. I think comedy often is one of them, at least in this current era. I don't think there's a lot of funny American comedy right now.
Yeah, and I'll go back to Love Actually for a second, because that was one thing I noticed is I actually laughed watching that movie, and you don't get that in modern American comedies. They're not typically as good as they used to be, but British humor is good because it's dry and witty. So you really have to pay attention for the punchline sometimes, and it's worth it.
It is worth. I agree. It is worth it. It is worth it. So yeah. I will say we did just watch a show on HBO Max called The Chair Company.
I haven't heard of this one either.
Oh man, it is bizarre. We loved it. It's very funny, but it is insane. It is completely insane. And Tim Robinson on it, who actually you probably also don't know, I'm guessing. Do you know Tim Robinson?
I know the name. I probably know who he is.
He was a writer on SNL. I don't know that he was ever on SNL. But he was a writer there, and then
I know who he is.
He did a TV show called Detroiters, which is on Paramount. Yeah. We watched that. That's pretty funny. And he has a show called I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
Yeah,
which I have not seen.
That's what I know him from.
I think, is that on Netflix?
I think so.
Okay, I don't have Netflix right now, so I have not been able to watch that one. But so he created the show, and he's the main character in it, and I can't even begin to describe it. I'll just say it's wild and crazy. But that was pretty funny, and for once, it's something that is not a remake of something that the British people did. I think maybe it is. I don't know.
Could be.
So that's kind of what we've been doing TV wise. It has been busy around here too because we had some housework done. So we've been spending a lot of our evenings redecorating, hanging stuff on walls and things like that. So
put back together.
Yeah. So we've not had a ton of time to be just sitting around like relaxing either. But
yeah.
I did just watch an old movie, and you mentioned that Love Actually was not qualified for a movie in a minute. But
no,
I watched one that maybe we could do it if you're interested. It's called Dragon Slayer. And have you ever heard of this? It's an old. It's an 81, old fantasy movie.
80?
81. It's an old.
Yeah.
And I guess if you already know it, maybe I don't need to educate
no.
on this movie.
You should, because it's not about entertaining me, Rob. It's about entertaining the masses, the 170 some odd people, or I guess views. Maybe it could be 5 people just listening on repeat. I don't know.
That's true.
We got some viewers. We got some people who care. I remember Dragon Slayer. I've watched it years ago, so it will be like entertaining for me. So should I set a 1-minute timer?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Hold on. All right, Rob. Dragon Slayer. Movie in a minute.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Dragon Slayer is a 1981 fantasy movie. It stars Peter McNichol, who I know from Ghostbusters 2. Janosch, I think his name was. There was also a small part in here by Ian McDiarmid, who played Emperor Palpatine in, 5 or 6 Star Wars movies. So there's this dragon, and it is terrorizing the city. The king has made a deal with it. He sacrifices 1 virgin per year to get the dragon, Vermithrax Pejorative, to leave them alone. That name cracks me up. So a group of villagers, and also they do like a lottery of virgins, basically, to see who's going to be sacrificed. So a group of villagers asks a nearby sorcerer for help. They're led by one of those virgins who is pretending to be a man, so she doesn't get into the lottery. The sorcerer agrees, but then he dies almost immediately, and his apprentice, Galen, who is Peter McNichol, is left to do the job. So he goes to the kingdom. He tries to kill the dragon. He falls in love with the virgin, helps her out with that virginity problem, and then
time's up.
Has an epic showdown with a dragon with a major twist.
Oh, is that your timer?
That was me. I was also, but I didn't even look at her. I would have done better, I think. It's a really good movie, and honestly, that is basically the plot right there. There is a major twist at the end, which I was not going to reveal. It's a huge twist, and it is worth it to watch it. But let me just say, this is a 44-year-old movie. There is almost no CGI in here.
Oh, it's practical. It's all practical.
It's all practical effects. A few times there's a dragon flying, and that part looks kind of cheesy. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But everything else in this movie is incredible. There is such a realness to it. You watch something like the Hobbit trilogy, not the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I have 0 complaints about the Lord of the Rings. But you look at the Hobbit, and they look good, but they look completely computer rendered.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
This movie, it is tangible. It is real. You could reach out and pet this dragon. I mean, you could. Yeah. It is. And the dragon, it's an actual dragon that they built. It's run by 40 puppeteers to make everything work. It actually breathes fire. Super cool. But even without the dragon's barely in the movie. Everything else in there is just tangible and real. And it was a really good watch. Honestly, I really liked this movie. It was very cool. Also, something weird about this. This was a production by Paramount and Disney. And it actually has nudity in it. Which, for Disney, in 1981... was kind of wild. Apparently, Disney did not hold the release distribution rights in North America, so they distributed it in Europe. But their name is still on it. Like when I started the movie, it said Paramount and Disney, and there's actually nudity in it. So wild. But yeah, really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And when I say nudity, I mean it's like the NYPD Blue butt nudity, and it was like one quick scene, so it was incredibly minimal. But honestly, I really, really enjoyed this. Was a really cool old fantasy movie.
That sounds I just hearing you run through that, I started getting flashes of the movie in my head, and it's definitely one that I'll have to go back and revisit at some point. Maybe a late night.
It's definitely worth it. This is on Pluto TV, which is a free service. Everyone has it or can have it. But really cool movie. I really liked it.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Well, that was Rob's movie in a minute.
Dragon movie Slayer. In a minute.
That's what we're going to use now as the opening theme. We'll clip that and use it. So, Rob, should we maybe talk about Earth 2?
If we have to.
Okay. If we must, we must.
We must. That's why we're here. We're also here because we have a good time talking to each other. And this is just kind of an excuse, I think, to get on a call and laugh for a while.
Yeah. The worst part about these is that we often limit the amount of time we have to chat. So I start to get very conscious of the time. So today's episode of Earth 2 is Survival of the Fittest. This was episode 18, and it also aired April 23rd, 1995. TV guide description is as such, with narration by Danzinger. A scout team, in search for much-needed supplies, finds the cargo pod 9 has been completely looted. Now in need of rescue after crashing the rail, Danziger and Alonzo pursue a Grindler for its stash, and it does not go well for them. Doesn't go well. No, this is kind of a rough episode.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know we're 18 episodes into the show. I've been putting an N in Danziger's name, Danzinger.
Yes.
And I don't think there's one there, so we have to go.
There's one N, not two N's.
Yep, we have to go fix that.
One at the beginning, not one at the end. Yes.
Yeah. So this episode, kind of fun, opens up. We don't know what day they're on the actual expedition, but Danzinger, Alonzo, Morgan, and Julia are on their own expedition, and they are on day 8. So we open on day 8 of them driving out to where they got a ping for this cargo pod. They get out to where it should be.
John, there's been a small error.
Danziger's using his amazing scouting abilities, using binoculars to look through the landscape. And Devin calls him and tells him that the pod has pulsed for its last time, a death pulse, and that it's 250 clicks in another direction. So here they are, 8 days away from the camp, low on supplies, really hoping that this cargo pod 9 is going to be their savior, and they are at least a day or two away from where the pod's actually at. They're
such idiots. They're such idiots.
Yeah.
They're just, I hope they can find their camp when it's time to go back. I just hope they can get back.
Well, surprise, they can't because they don't, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Also, they're already 2 days past their fail-safe point.
They are.
Yeah.
So they set up a vote, and this was, I don't know why Morgan's on this expedition. I don't know why anybody would say, Morgan, you're really valuable. It doesn't matter. Like, he could volunteer and be like, you stay behind, buddy, because you're not useful to us. And he's not. He just complains and moans and whines the whole time. The best part of this scene is they take a vote to see if they should push on and go ahead and make it the other 250 clicks to find the pod. They take a vote. 3 of them vote to go. Morgan says, aren't votes supposed to be, unanimous? And they're all like, just get in the car, Morgan, just get in the rail.
Gotta be unanimous, right? Right. Let's go.
So I like that. I just always like it whenever Morgan gets picked on. So good opening to the episode, and just so you know, most of this episode does just follow them, the group of 4.
When they decide, they make that vote to go, they're also flashing back to the camp where everyone's like, don't go, you got to come back, just come back, and freaking out. Bess finally hits the nail on the head here. She says,
they were all raised on the stations. They have no idea what they're up against.
And I was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Someone finally acknowledging they don't know how to live on a planet.
Yeah. And when we go back to the camp too, the other thing I noticed, Yale seems like especially aggressive this episode. Like when he's trying to convince Devin to make them come back, he seems really angry that they're going to keep pushing on. So it was a little different for Yale for me.
Yeah, maybe he's got some new emotions now that he's not locked into his cyborg programming.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a lot of him since that episode, right?
Yeah,
he's kind of been pushed more to the side. So the expedition group is now to day 10. They look terrible driving that rail. Danzinger's tired. Julia's like everybody else is asleep. They're just exhausted. But they find the pod. And
yay, they found it.
They get so excited. They run to it.
It's number 9. That's the one they wanted. Like, it's got all the supplies they need.
Yeah, it's perfect. And then
it's
everything's
the white
going to be
whale.
great.
They've been looking for this white whale since they got on the planet, apparently, which I've never heard it referenced. But
yeah. They haven't referenced it. It was a secret. But of course, they get around to the pod, and guess what? It's been completely ripped open, and it's completely empty. There's not even
been
a
robbed.
scrap. Yeah, we've been robbed. Yep. So Danziger grabs his gun. He's like, we're going to go track him. He doesn't. I feel bad for him. They should know by now that they're not going to find the supplies they need. And it really was a fool's errand. And honestly, Morgan was probably right. They probably should have just gone back.
Yeah. I don't remember anyone in this episode ever apologizing to him for that either. Like, you voted to go back. You're the only one that voted to go back, and we disregarded you. We're sorry.
Yeah. And
doesn't happen.
Nobody would. Yeah,
No.
they don't respect Morgan, so nobody would. But in between these scenes of the expedition group, we keep jumping back to camp, and basically the camp, everybody's just really worried about the group. They know that they're out of supplies, they're not going to make it back, they don't know what to do, so they decide that Yale and Wallen are going to go help them. They're going to go try to find them. So they pack up some supplies. What did they call them? Hydration capsules or something? Like if you find them and they're dehydrated, pop this little capsule. Like I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
That you could just magically rehydrate somebody with a pill.
Magic.
At this point, the main expedition group, so Danzinger's group, they're going to try to head back. So now they are on day 13 trying to head back to the main camp at Mary's Garden. And it's starting to get to the group. They're arguing, not getting along very well. Morgan's really, really complaining. Danzinger, typical dad, turns around, tells Morgan to be quiet or he's going to pull over and give him a spanking. Yeah. And as he's back, looking back, yelling at Morgan, they crash the rail.
Yep.
They go
It rolls
right off. Yeah. And again, it was one of those things in the show. I don't know how steep or what the difference is between small slopes there on Earth 2 compared to like just Earth.
Maybe
but
the
they
gravity is different. Maybe gravity is different there.
Because they hit this hill and they're in full blown panic. Like they're going vertical downhill, but it didn't look that bad. I was like, just put the brakes on, buddy. It's a small little slope.
It should have been fun. Like that's a fun one to go
Yeah.
down. Maybe pick up some speed and actually get home a little quicker.
Yeah. But no,
They
of course,
freak out.
yeah, they panic and he rolls the rail. And everybody seems fine except for Morgan, who is stuck and says that he can't move his legs. So not in great shape.
The one guy who didn't want to come, and they now have paralyzed him from the waist down.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where the group's at. Yell and Wallen eventually find the camp. Again, there's not a lot of great stuff in this one. This episode for me really started to feel a little one-trick pony, which is something I think I'm seeing more as the episodes go on. There's less happening, so they're much more focused and tight on like one specific storyline, one plot line. So the episodes kind of just scoot along. But Yell and Wallen show up and they find the camp. They see the rails flipped over. Everybody's laying on the ground. And before this, we do see Danzinger and the group at their camp, and they see a Grindler run off in the distance. Did you catch that before Yale and Wallen show up? So Danzinger's sitting there. He has his hallucination where he thinks he sees True. And as he's looking over to where he sees the hallucination, you can see a Grindler run off into the distance. It's a nighttime scene. So Yale and Wallen show up, but everybody looks like they're in really bad shape. They're from what they see.
They
think they're dead.
Yeah.
They're all laying down on the ground, face in the dirt. But Yale, when they get there, realizes pretty quick, they all just pop up and they seem to be doing pretty good. Yeah, they just get up like they were taking naps. And Yale tells Wallen, takes him aside, and he's like, I don't think something's okay here. Danzinger's Mag Pro, the gun, the chain gun, it looks like a chain gun that he carries, has been fired.
Yes.
So he shot it?
Had you ever heard the name of the gun before this episode?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Right. I just thought maybe I missed it, but everyone's referring to Mag Pros all over the place in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, they pop up constantly. So Yell and Wallen are trying to figure out what's going on, and then again, off in the distance, there's a Grindler watching them at the camp.
Outside of the camp, yeah.
Outside of the camp.
I don't know if they see that guy. We do as the audience, but I don't think
they don't. No, they don't see him.
Is it night?
They don't know he's there. Yeah. So the mystery is set up.
Yeah.
Mystery's
something
afoot.
happened there. Something.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yale's the only one that notices it. Wallen's not the brightest character. It's kind of fun to watch him because he just goes to, let's just shoot everything in this episode, which is pretty wild.
To be fair, that's also Danziger's go-to in some episodes.
Yeah, well,
we're gonna blast him.
It's a look into the future for Danzinger. Yeah. So Yell and Wallen get the group back to camp.
Yay!
Yeah, they make it.
When they got back there, like the music, like crescendos. Everyone's coming into camp. The music is crescendoing. They're making it back to camp, and I was like, "Is the episode over?" I looked at the time. I was like, "No, it's only been 15 minutes. Why does this feel like the climax of the episode?" It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I picked that up too. Yeah, and I noticed too that the music didn't match the scene. Everybody should have been so excited, but Danzinger and the group didn't look like a group that was just rescued. They looked like a group that had been through war.
Yes.
And they weren't talking to each other. They wouldn't look at each other.
They've definitely all been through something. They've been through something.
Yeah, it'd been bad.
Yep.
So they get back, and the next morning so we're all back at the main camp now. And the next morning there's a dead Grindler resting on a pole right outside of the camp. And they say once again that it's been shot by a mag pro.
Bro wound.
Yep. So this is where I think everybody starts to realize something's not quite normal. How did this? Because this thing is propped up on a pole. Something
Right. It's
purposely
weird.
set it there. Yeah.
Yes.
It's
And
super weird.
like none of the scouting crew have any interest in even seeing it or looking at it. They're like, and turn around and walk away. And everyone's like, aren't you a little interested in this spectacle? No.
Yeah.
Not
And
at all.
this is what gets me about this stuff. They have people on watch every night walking the camp.
Sure, they are. They're asleep.
I know, but that's what they want us to think.
Yeah.
Nobody saw this. Something had to set this
Right.
Grindler up on a pole, and it's not far away from camp.
No.
It's pretty close to camp.
It is in the camp. And these Grendlers are always snorting and
They're
huffing.
noisy.
They make
Yeah.
so much noise.
What a nut.
How is someone, Baines is on watch or whatever, how is he not going to notice this a dead Grendler being set up in the middle of the camp?
Yeah, it just kills me. They can't scout. They don't know how to keep watch. They're just terrible. I'm surprised they are still alive as a group
Yeah.
at this point, that we even got 18 episodes.
Tyrians are probably keeping them alive secretly. Like,
Yeah, they're
leaving food
probably
for 'em.
back. Yeah, they're probably back in their caves talking about how stupid these humans are.
Yeah. It's like there's an episode of The Office. Have you ever seen The Office?
Yeah.
Okay. There's an episode of The Office where Michael decides he's going to go live out in the wilderness with nothing and be fine. And Dwight hangs out nearby and gives him food and starts fires for him and like gives him everything he needs to survive, basically. And Michael thinks he's doing it all himself. That's the scenario
That
here.
is-
Michael is
You're right.
the Eden crew / Utopians, and Dwight is the Tyrians.
Yes. That's a really good comparison to make.
Thank you. I like it.
So,
Sorry to distract.
no, that's good. That's good. So at this point, I think Devin and Yale are starting to realize something's really not okay. So Devin's asked John what happened because everybody seems really depressed and messed up. I think even before this, Morgan had a pretty nasty nightmare.
Yeah.
Right? I think that happened.
Yeah, he woke up screaming.
So John recounts what happens, and he goes back to his hallucination where he saw True. And he sees the Grindler that's running away. And John gets up, wakes up Alonzo. This is, a flashback. And they decide to go after the Grindler. And in this recounting, Alonzo's on board. They're like, yeah, he might have food, water, he might have all kinds of stuff in his stash. Let's go. So they go after it. They find a Grindler hole. For a minute, you think they found some water. I'm going to call it a Grindler hole. I don't know
I
what
like
to
it.
call it.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
They find what they think is water, but it's actually dripping acid. John holds his hand under it for a while, and then it hurts his hand. He's like, oh, that hurts.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink it. And the Grindler shows up.
Yeah. He jump scares him.
Jump scares him. Yeah, everybody's freaks out. And they're kind of separated, right? So Danzinger's on one side, Alonzo's on the other, the Grindler's in between them.
Yeah.
And the Grindler looks upset, but why wouldn't you be? Somebody just broke into your home.
Right. I mean, he is pretty angry in this version of events. Like, he is, like, fuming and enraged, as they say. But I agree. These people are in his home. What do you expect?
Yeah. It gets pretty tense.
Yeah.
Danzinger's worried about Alonzo because this thing keeps turning, putting his attention on Alonzo. John just starts shouting, Alonzo, get out of the way. And then, blam! He just blasts him with the Mag Pro.
Pro, yeah.
Yep. And it's a pretty powerful hit. I didn't expect that gun.
Knocks him back 10 feet into the wall.
Yeah. I
Roughly,
didn't
give or
expect
take.
that.
I didn't measure it, but it looked like
Yep.
numerous feet. Like, bam!
Yeah.
Lights out.
So,
Grandler dead.
yeah, I was a little surprised by that.
I had no choice. I was enraged. Would have killed Alonzo. Would have killed me.
So we go back to camp. So this is where we get into kind of a flashback episode. And they find a Grindler now, a live Grindler, not the dead one, just kind of sitting, watching the camp, not doing anything, just hanging out, staring at everybody. And then we get Alonzo's point of view on what happened. And this was really weird because for a second, the way they cut this scene, I thought we were getting another account from John's point of view because this flashback starts with Danzinger as the last person you see. And then you go into the story again. So from Alonzo's point of view, the Grindler, they do the same thing. They get into the Grindler hole.
One difference in this one is that Alonzo doesn't want to go follow the Grindler in this version. He's not on board, but then he's like, well, I can't let him go alone. I got to go with him. We won't go far.
Right.
And like the whole way, he's like, well, I don't see the Grindler. Let's go back. So first one, John's like, when John tells it, he's like, yeah, me and Alonzo, we're going to go chase this thing and get its stuff. We were both on board. And this one, Alonzo's like, I didn't really want to do this. And I don't know if one is about that particular aspect. One's telling the truth or one's lying.
He's
That's both their own opinion of how they
yeah,
took the situation.
he's maybe fitting the narrative so that he doesn't seem like he's as responsible for the death of a Grindler.
Yeah.
But because the other in Alonso's story too, he doesn't want John to shoot. He's telling John, "Don't shoot." He's like, "It's fine. It's just confused. It's angry that we're here. It doesn't get it, but
And it's not
don't
even
kill it."
It's nowhere near as enraged or upset in Alonso's version.
Yeah, and you can feel it. I mean, even though it doesn't talk, watching this recounting, you can tell that it's just like, "Why are you in my house, bro?"
It looks more confused than anything.
Yeah. But then John blasts it anyways.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Grindler dead.
And, dead Grindler.
Mag Pro.
Alonso comes back and, everybody's like, so John didn't have to kill it. So now, Danzinger's a bad guy. Watching this episode, TNG tangent incoming.
Okay.
I started thinking about one of my favorite episodes. I think it was in season 3 of TNG, where Riker goes to visit a lab and he's checking in on an experiment that the scientist is running. And this scientist is, of course, an old man with a younger hot wife. So that's just how that stuff goes. So then Riker, being the ladies' man, gets put in the middle of a bad situation. But the scientist ends up being murdered. And then shortly after Riker beams back down, the lab explodes. Right. So the scientist's wife immediately goes to blame Riker. Riker murdered him. It was Riker's fault. He murdered him. Love triangle, weird plot stuff. But is where it's similar and that I like about this stuff is the whole episode turns into a holodeck episode where they're recounting the story from different characters' points of view, trying to figure out what exactly happened. And I just connected that. Can you think of other shows that have done this similar type of plot line?
No, I have definitely seen that in a number of things, and if I had more time to think about it, I might come up with something. There was one movie that I saw a few years ago called The Last Duel. You remember that? It was it's a Ridley Scott movie, so I guess I know you have said you're only watching Aliens Ridley Scott movies. Yeah. So he's done other things, just so you know. But it's called The Last Duel. It's like a medieval set movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Okay, I didn't see it, but I can remember the trailers and stuff now. Okay.
Yeah, so there's an event that happens, and basically we see the same thing from 3 different points of view, and there are definitely major differences in how it all goes. And it was interesting seeing it in like a medieval era like that. To me, it was not. I didn't enjoy the movie that much, honestly. I watched it, but I was not thrilled with it. It was fine.
Yeah.
But I know I've definitely seen this concept in many things, but I'm sorry, I don't have any other thoughts.
Yeah. No, I feel like this is something that we used to see a lot in the 90s, though. I feel like every TV show in the 90s had an episode where something like this happened. There was a mystery that was being solved, and they tackled it this way.
So we discussed one of my favorite shows a little earlier in this episode, Seinfeld.
And you want to be my latex cell.
There is an episode where they're recounting a time when someone spit on Kramer, and Kramer has always thought it was this baseball player from, I think, the Mets. Player is actually on the episode. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. I will be mad at myself for not remembering this. But we see it's like when JFK was assassinated, there was the Zapruder footage. There was the film footage that showed the thing, and it was played out just like that. The whole thing is done like a conspiracy. And, Kramer describes what happens, and we see it happening. And then when that baseball player is on there, he's like, no, I remember that. That's not what happened. There was a second spitter in the bushes. And then we see it replay again, and now there is someone else there in the bushes that wasn't there before and doing the whole thing. So definitely, Seinfeld did it for sure. That was a very
Seinfeld did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. I do remember that episode.
That was funny.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I will say, just to continue, I love these types of episodes because
me too. They're fun.
Yeah, there's some stories that I really like. There's some recountings that really make my blood boil,
Mm-hmm.
So I like where this one's going at this point.
And really, that's what good storytelling should do, is evoke some kind of reaction in you. And sometimes it's going to be love. Sometimes it's going to make you angry. That's why, honestly, I go back to those early episodes. We hated Morgan. They were doing a great job because we were supposed to hate him, and like I felt it. I was really like, oh, this guy.
Yeah,
and
this guy.
They were doing a phenomenal job because I was having a very cathartic reaction to many different things here. So, if that sort of storytelling is causing those different reactions, and it is definitely working. It's well done.
I think we should hate Morgan, because in the last episode, the boy who would be Tyrion King, if that is Morgan's son in the future, he did not raise his kids right, and he betrayed the whole expedition to G889.
He really did.
So he is a terrible person.
For the record, yesterday I was trying to do some research on the internet to see if there was any rumors of that or any like hints that we might have missed. There is nothing out there. Like, it was crazy hard to find anything. We're basically the people who are doing this analysis. There's no one else right now doing this analysis.
Well, it's been stuck in my head since we recorded last week, and I think that is what makes sense to me. So I'm going to say I'm going to call it canon, because nobody's going to correct us. So it's canon. That is what's happening. All right, so back to this episode. The Grindler that's still hanging out, watching everybody, is really, really ticking off Wallen.
Yeah.
And
Wallen blast it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to shoot it.
I'm going to blast it and drive it off.
Yeah, with my Mag Pro.
And Devin is like, no, like, he's not hurting anybody. Just leave him alone. He's just hanging out.
Knock it off, you caveman.
Yeah.
My word's not hers.
It's kind of hers. The underlying parts, right?
The undertone. You're right.
Undertone parts. So we now get Morgan's side of the story. So this one gets really interesting. So Morgan's point of view gets us a little closer to the truth. John seems a little more crazed than Morgan's recounting, because John goes to the group and he's like, I'm going to go after it. Like, we got to eat something. like let's just go eat it. Let's just go kill the Grindler and we'll just consume it. And Alonso is not on board. Morgan, this whole time for most of this flashback, is just laying, off to the side. He can hear what's going on, but you don't hear much from him. Julia pipes up and she's like, well, yeah, I mean, maybe we should eat it because we need protein. We need some kind of hydration. Like, we're going to die if we don't. So they go, and that's what Alonso and John go to do. And they kill the Grindler. Or sorry, Julia goes with him this time, not Alonso.
Yeah.
And
she says she'll know what to do with it.
She knows what to do with it, yep. And Julia's there. They kill the Grindler. They get some meat.
The Grindler's already dead, bro.
Oh, it's already dead. Sorry, you're right. They go back, to skin it and eat it.
Yeah, basically, to like harvest its meat.
Yep. And they get it back, and this one ends with Morgan being like the one who's sitting on the tower, because he's near dead. Julia brings over a cup of blood, and Morgan just can't do it, and that's where the flashback ends. I just can't drink it.
Morgan, please, you have to try.
I can't.
Please, try.
One thing that was not super clear to me in here, but at some point Julia tells them all that the Grindler was a female, and I think when she's cutting it open, I don't know if she finds I don't know if the Grindler was pregnant, was there a baby in there or what, but somehow when she went to harvest meat, she realized that it was a female.
Yeah, we see more of that from Julia's point of view, what happened. So, but after Morgan's flashback, this is where Morgan's telling this now to the entire camp. So when we cut back to the camp, John's walking in and everybody is just disgusted that John killed this thing and then they ate it.
Yeah.
And then they get into the argument of, are Grindlers intelligent? Are they just animals? Should we feel bad that we killed this thing? What do we do?
Yeah.
And then we jump into Julia's point of view. And to cut this one much shorter, so Julia goes they carve up the Grindler. And after she finishes the job, she's looking for a rag to wipe her soiled hands off with. And she finds what looks like a baby Grindler. I don't know if it's an egg or something, but it's sitting off, and she kind of touches it. And that's when she realizes that what they killed was a mother. So, and that was pretty hard.
It is super unclear. It was. And it's super unclear what's going on. But before that happened, she'd already told us that it was a female.
Right. We knew that.
Or else we might not know what was happening.
Yeah. But that's how she knew.
Yeah.
Because they
I got my flashbacks mixed up there.
Yeah. So that's kind of where, the flashbacks end. Everybody's trying to, make sense of what's going on and why this Grindler is now kind of just hanging out, stalking the camp. And so John and True have a really touching moment. John feels really guilty for what he did, and True tries to comfort him. And when John wakes up the next morning, True's gone.
She gone.
Everybody, she gone.
She gone.
Everybody immediately thinks that the Grindler came in and kidnapped her.
Mm-hmm. Like he's getting revenge on John by taking someone dear to him.
Some payback. So they send out, groups to scout, which again, wow. you know.
And in my notes, I put Yale, the master tracker, finds their trail.
Yes. And Yale's the only one who probably has any kind of ability to do any of this stuff.
Right, because he was in the special forces.
Right. And he does find tracks, but he finds tracks and he realizes that True left on her own. She was not kidnapped.
She went to the Grindler.
Yeah, and they're all really worried though because John busts out of there with the Mag Pro.
Yeah, he loves
ahead of
Mag
everybody. He does. And everybody's like, "Oh gosh, we're gonna eat Grindler again tonight if we don't stop John now." So they all go
it's
after
really
him.
gamey. It's really gamey. You don't want to eat it if you don't have to.
No, you don't. You got to like soak it.
Blood is too sour. Ugh.
Yeah, you got to like soak it in milk and lemon juice and stuff to get the flavor tamed. Ugh,
you're making me hungry.
So Yale finds the tracks. John still finds them first, and when he finds them, True and the Grindler are just hanging out.
Yeah,
they don't look like they're up to anything nefarious.
Nope, having a convo.
Yep, but John pulls that Mag Pro out, and the Grindler pulls True in, human shield. And John has a really touching moment. He breaks down. True's the only thing he's got that's good in life. He's ready to give himself for her.
He does. He offers his gun up.
He does.
He says, me for her, me for her. And he's like, take the gun and shoot me.
Yeah. And I think is what really does it here is, we learn that Grindlers are intelligent. And when John breaks down,
It's not gonna hurt me. Don't shoot.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
he explains to the Grindler, like, I was scared, I was nervous, we were near dead, I didn't know what else to do. It was essentially an accident, right? A moment of panic.
Yeah. He also apologizes.
He does.
Which is important,
Yep.
Even if something's an accident, an apology is still important.
Yeah, and that's all that the Grindler really wanted, was to understand why. Understand why. It lets True go. True runs to John. They have their moment. The Grindler turns around and sobs. I assume it's crying because it stands there at its Grindler hole entry, just crying.
Yeah. True says that the Grindler never wanted revenge. It just wanted to know why.
Yep. Yeah. So it's in the end pretty quick episode, but kind of a lot going on. And I like the story of, our Grindlers, intelligent or not. I think we learned that they are. So
are they just animals, or are they more intelligent? So there's one last scene at the end where Danzinger is helping the Grindler bury the Lady Grindler.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no dialogue or anything there, and it's kind of a nice moment.
Symbolic. It's just nice. I don't know. What'd you think? What'd you think of this one, Rob?
This was average. It was an average episode.
Sure.
It's fine. Again, so many of these, like, I think back to a Star Trek. I don't have a specific Star Trek episode in mind when I was thinking of this, but there are some episodes that are just like, it's all about a moral problem that someone is dealing with. And, that's what this is. They're trying to, did they do something wrong here? Was it just self-defense? Are these intelligent creatures? And just, it had the feel of that. It's also a little moralistic preaching to me, I feel, in here, where they're trying to set up these aliens as being better than humans. He doesn't want revenge. He doesn't care about revenge. They just want to know why. They want to understand. So, they're trying to, show, humans are, these creatures are better than us in that way. And I feel that's a little bit of a preachy stance from the episode on that. Not overtly so or anything. I'm not offended by it or anything. It's fine. It's just, they're different. It's a different species. It's just different. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's the same. I get it though, because it's the same storyline they have with the Terrians, right? The Terrians won't kill each other. They're just better than us. But it's because they lack emotion, and that's the
they're
difference.
A cold, fierce breed,
right? But I don't think they're that fierce.
That's what True and Gall have told us.
I know,
countless times.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it.
I don't know. They are. I mean, they wouldn't forgive Mary. Don't forget.
Yeah, but she had kind of betrayed them. It was like the ultimate betrayal.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
she wasn't really one of them, so
she wasn't. She wasn't. Not like Yuli's gonna be.
Yeah. Personally, I really like the episode. I think I like the flashbacks the most. That's where I got really engaged with it. Was at that point when we could start hearing about what's going on. But those are guilty pleasures for me. I love those kinds of episodes. I did have the same connection, like the moral connection. I think it's something the show does. It's good at doing it without being preachy, but it's definitely there. And to connect it to another TNG episode, I did think of A Measure of a Man, where they have to decide if Data is is intelligent or not.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of where my brain went towards the end when I realized what was going on. I was like, oh wow. Yeah. So I liked it. If I would have watched this one, I'm definitely coming back. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited for the next episode after this one. I really enjoyed it.
Well, just so you know, the next episode, it's called All About Eve. That is technically the season finale.
Yep.
So there are 2 episodes that come after that, but this is the last one that was filmed. This was intended to be the last episode. And the 2 that come after it are 2 that were cut from earlier in the season. So, yes, be excited. However, technically, it's the last episode. Although we will come back and watch those other 2. But
yes. Yep.
One other funny thing, you're so excited to watch this next episode, right? You've got to wait a month. When this aired on TV, it came out 4 weeks after this episode. That's crazy. Crazy. And at this point, I think they already knew the show was canceled.
Yeah. So they're not.
So they weren't in any rush to try to please anybody that was still watching it, which is kind of sad. But yeah, they definitely got into a pattern here of long delays and then these 2 back to back, which is weird. And then they waited a month. I don't know why they didn't just spread these 2 out. Why they feel the need to air 2 of them back to back like that.
They probably had some empty space on a Sunday or whenever it aired,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think if we were watching this real time 94, 95, I probably would have fallen off. I think trying to keep up with the schedule would have threw me. And after we have even these conversations, like we're watching them in air date order, even after we talk about it, I'm like, this would be impossible for me to try to keep track of in the 90s. Just even remembering when it's going to be on, when it's not, when they're going to air 2 episodes, the time in between, right? You give me this episode and then a month later the season finale,
right?
Come on.
After a month, I'm gonna forget that this show was on. I'm gonna think, because there was no internet, so you can't just look and see when the next one's coming. I would have assumed that this episode was the last one. If we go 3 full weeks without an episode, I'm gonna be like, well, I guess we already saw the finale. That was it.
Yeah,
it's kind of a lame way to end the season.
Yeah, it's over. So
that's what I would have thought. Yeah.
So where are we going next? All About Eve?
All About Eve
is our next one. All About Eve aired Monday, May 21st, 1995. Facing an unknown illness where they progressively deteriorate, the colonists find the remains of a Venus-class Council research ship containing several cold sleep crypts. The 2 survivors are distressed. They are not back on Earth.
More people.
All
More
over
humans.
this place.
They are littering this planet with human beings.
Littering.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking how wild it is that, the Zeds were put on this planet to basically kill the penal colonists that were there, like catch them, study them, learn what they can from them, and then kill them. That way, they're basically cleaning the surface of the planet so that it'll be ready for colonization. We've sent all these criminals here. Now let's kill them and get rid of the place. Yet there's a whole village of them not too far from where they ran into that first Zed. And they're just all alive underground. They don't go to the surface much, but they must at some point to get food and different supplies. Go cut a tree down to make furniture with in their cave or something. It's crazy. Everyone's planet is so bad at, like, the Zed was terrible at his job. He couldn't kill anybody.
Yeah, it's honestly no wonder that Earth is in the shape it's in and that people have to get out, because humans have gotten dumber in this timeline.
They really have.
So, yeah.
Hey, we probably should have discussed this way back when we first started talking about this show, like episode 1. But I just realized a couple days ago what a huge get it was for this show to have Clancy Brown on it. Just 2 months before this show came out, one of the greatest movies of all time hit the theaters, featuring one Clancy Brown. Any guesses? You might not know what I would consider a greatest movie of all time. I think this is widely considered to be a phenomenal movie, maybe one of the greatest of all time.
I can't think of it. What is it?
The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, wow, yes.
And he was one of the prison guards in that. He had a pretty sizable role in this thing. And, when this show starts, it's probably still in theaters. And now here he is on all these TV promos. You see people are like, hey, that guy's in that movie. And I'm going to check this show out. Sometimes that's a big draw to people, is who is in a show.
Sure.
And if you recognize a guy, like, he didn't have the biggest role in the movie, but it was an important role. And sometimes all you need is a familiar face to kind of lock onto something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's the guy from the Shawshank Redemption. And that's the girl from those Noxzema commercials. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm going to check this show out.
Yeah, I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, no, I ran across it yesterday looking up something,
Oh, that's
but I was
cool.
like, oh, that's incredible
Yeah.
that he
Do
was
you
that
think?
they were that close together. Good for Earth 2 to get him.
Yeah. Do you think if they would have realized how big, if Clancy would have realized how big Shawshank Redemption, I'm calling him Clancy because we're,
Yeah,
best buds.
yeah,
Uh,
bros.
if he would have realized what Shawshank Redemption was going to do you think he still would have been in Earth 2? I imagine he signed the contracts ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't think Shawshank was huge in theaters. I really
Yeah.
think it hit its heyday
It's
after,
bigger on
although
DVD.
did it even, I'm not sure that it won awards. We already know that Forrest Gump won most of the Academy Awards for 94, because we talked about that a few weeks ago. I don't think Shawshank was necessarily very big. I think it was more on the home release that it really took off, and people were like, "This thing is incredible." Frank Darabont, yeah, I should check that. I should check out his movies. This guy might know what he's doing.
So Shawshank Redemption was nominated for 7 Academy Awards in
Oh, okay.
1995,
All right.
which was the most for any Stephen King film adaptation. Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Cinematography, Film Editing, Sound, Original Score, and it didn't win in any categories.
Crying shame.
Yeah. And then it did also get 2 Golden Globe nominations.
No wins there either.
It doesn't say, but it doesn't look like it.
I mean, it would probably
So,
say wins
that's
if
wild.
if it won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. Because I remember it being big. I remember my parents really liked it. I watched it. Yeah, and for me, it was bigger. It was like really, really popular. So
Yeah. It's hard for me. Like, people will say, "What's your favorite movie?" And I'm like, man, I don't know. There's so many, and numerous things can be awesome in different ways, and it's hard to distinguish something better than another. It's really tough. But
yeah,
two that are consistently at the top of my list, like vying for that top position. One would be Shawshank Redemption. The other is Fight Club. Like, those are both just.
oh yeah, really
I
good.
love both of those movies so much, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard if I would not be able to narrow it down. It depends on the day, honestly, which one of the two I would put
yeah,
at the top of
your
my list.
mood.
But
Yeah, it's your mood.
everything else might jockey in positions underneath them, but those two are always consistently going to be 1, 2, 1A. Just
Yeah,
great movies.
I feel like when somebody asks you what your favorite movie is, you have to lay out your criteria. Like for me, I go to nostalgia, right? So Batman 1989 is one of my favorite movies because it hit an itch when it came out, and I was like 10, 11 watching it,
Yeah.
and that's all I watched on repeat.
Sure. Yeah.
So it is my favorite movie. Is it the best movie ever made? No.
Right.
It definitely has issues,
Yeah.
but it's still my favorite.
Yeah.
And
Those
I
are
will
two
watch
very
it.
different categories. Favorite versus best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember since we're talking about old sitcoms so much today? Well, you said you didn't watch Friends. Did you watch any Friends ever?
I saw some when my mom watched them,
Okay.
but
Man.
I didn't make
Wow.
it a point to sit down and watch it.
Okay.
I was
watched.
probably a little too young at the time to really
Yeah.
get into Friends.
Sure.
It just
Yeah.
wasn't for me.
I'm much older than you, and I was into Friends in the starting several years after it started. Like, I got into it and I watched a lot of it, but I watched them all later on DVD.
Hmm.
But there was an episode where they were quizzing who knew the most about Rachel, and one of the questions was, "What's Rachel's favorite movie?" Or it was something like, "What does Rachel say is her favorite movie?" And they answer with something, and then they're like, "And what's her actual favorite movie?" And Joey's like, "Weekend at Bernie's 2." And she's like, "Man," because she gets it completely right. But, sometimes you just have that favorite movie that you don't necessarily want to tell people because it's kind of silly or goofy or not a good
Yeah.
movie, but it could definitely be your favorite
It's
movie.
true.
Like Batman 89, that's fine. Nothing wrong. Just
What are you
kidding.
saying, Rob?
Batman 89 is a good movie. I enjoy
Better.
Batman 89.
Yeah. I don't like
It is probably
My-
in my top 5 of Batman movies. Just saying.
Yeah.
It is in my top 5, at least.
Batman and Robin, your number one.
Yeah, maybe. Just kidding. But when the Batman 2 comes out here eventually, it might get bumped out. Batman 89. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. The nostalgia is going to keep it solid in my list.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's stronger for you than it is for me. I did see that when it was brand new. I remember seeing it
Yeah. I think I've said this
in
before.
the theater, I think.
Yeah, I saw it a double feature at a drive-in. What About Bob? And then I begged my mom to let me stay to watch Batman. So we stayed
Wow.
for the double feature at the drive-in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I love What About Bob.
Yeah.
I actually finally just bought it not too long ago on DVD to introduce the rest of my family to it.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm not sure my wife had seen it. I know the kids hadn't. I think my wife had seen it, but it had been a long time. But
Yeah.
we said, and some, like, honestly, their mouths were just hanging open in astonishment at this movie at various parts. And just like, it felt so good just to be watching that and have everyone enjoy it so much. And
That's the best.
we watched it like 3 times in the span of a couple days. And there are certain lines that we have been using since then. This is probably 6 months or a year ago, and we've just been quoting certain lines consistently.
That's great.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
It's fun when the whole family can come around, together around one movie.
Yeah.
So
yep. In my mind, What About Bob and Groundhog Day are forever linked. Like, to me, I saw them close to each other.
Same.
And they both obviously have Bill Murray, and they are just linked eternally in my head. I think of one, I think of the other.
Yes.
And I love them both. I love them both. They're top-notch comedies.
Yeah, they're both really good.
Yep. To me, that was like Bill Murray's heyday.
Yeah.
Start like in the mid '80s. Like Ghostbusters era.
Yeah, he had a string
up through
of
the
them.
through the very early '90s, and he was on fire. All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to our show. Leave us comments. Find us on the socials. We're at Broadcast Obits. Thanks for listening. I have been one of your hosts, Rob.
And I'm Aaron. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. And all of our listeners will be on pins and needles until they know what Rob prefers.
The edge of their seat.
So I'd be interested to see him in something that isn't a Star Trek episode or a stage performance. This would be really cool.
Do you watch a lot of his stage performances?
I have seen a lot of clips and things online because I just wanted to see how close he is to acting in TNG to on the stage, and they're pretty close.
Really?
He's a stage actor at heart. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
You're nuts, you know that? What were you thinking out there?
Do you like his what are the movies? Wes Anderson.
I am a big Wes Anderson fan. Honestly, my favorite Wes Anderson movie is one that I consistently look at, like, lists that people make of ranking Wes Anderson's movies. And my favorite is almost always at the bottom on these lists. It's one of the worst. It's called The Darjeeling Limited. And it's got Jason Schwartzman, Owen Wilson, and Adrian Brody all on a train in India.
Yeah.
And
it'd be at the bottom of my list.
I've watched this one 5 or 6 times. It is by far my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I don't know. There's something about that one that resonates strongly with me.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. What would be your top then? If that's towards your bottom, what's one of your top ones?
Well, the last one that I watched, because I think I'm behind on his movies, I really enjoyed Asteroid City.
Okay.
I really liked that one.
Fine. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It got a little.
Sorry.
Asteroid City got a little meta for me. And,
I think that's what I liked about it.
All right. Yeah, I get a little tired of that sometimes, just depending on what else I've seen. That might be going that way, and I've seen some meta stuff that is. I'm just like, yawn.
A little too much.
You're a little self-absorbed, self-importance here. Like Quentin Tarantino with his Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's just like a love letter to making movies, which I do. So I love me is kind of how I read that.
I gotcha.
I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, but that's anything that is about making movies to me just seems a little self-aggrandizing, and it's just I'm over it. So but
I get it.
Asteroid City was fine. I didn't have many problems with it. It's just not one of my favorites.
Except that it sounds like you hated it, but.
Well, apparently not as much as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. And then I think the other two of his that I really enjoy, and I put them next to each other, is Rushmore and Life Aquatic. I really like those two.
Okay.
It's really good.
They're definitely two of my least favorites. They really are. They really are. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We're on completely different sides of this one.
And his movies have such a different weird flavor. Everybody could like different movies of his, and it's perfectly fine. I think Moonrise Kingdom is a really good one of his.
Oh gosh, I saw half of that one.
Okay.
I didn't watch that whole thing yet.
That was That might be one of maybe my second favorite. I do also like the two animated or claymation ones he had, Isle of Dogs and the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Mr. Fox. Yeah.
Those are really good too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like them all to some degree. Just some are less than others. But Grand Budapest Hotel, that was a really good one. I really like that one. But,
Yeah.
some of the, he did one before Asteroid City, The French Dispatch. I don't think I ever finished it. It's got 2 or 3, his movies have stories within stories within stories. And that one I think had 2 or 3 like sub stories, and I got through maybe 2 of them and got pulled away, and I never went back and finished it, and I'm not upset about it.
Yeah, that one's been on our list to watch, but we haven't got to it. So, yeah,
it's fine. Yeah. It's good stuff. He's a good director. I like his style. I know it's a little. Some people might consider it a little pretentious. I think it's just unique, and I'm okay with it. It's fine.
Yeah, he just does his own thing.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's his own flavor.
It's
he's not making movies like everybody else in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, it's not typical.
Yep.
So
I like that.
All right. Well, we should wrap up.
Yeah.
I know I got a hard stop today. So
I could stay on by myself and just talk about.
If you want to.
Not sure how long that conversation would go.
It'd be a little weird if you carried on like an hour-long conversation with yourself recorded it.
It would.
That might be okay though too. It's just a podcast.
Live long and prosper.